to the night where we light up the spot. We're trading crypto, finance, you'll be mad on the charts. Hosted by the one, Lunar Beaches top shark. Dive deep into the numbers cause this ain't no lark. We're crunching all the data, making money moves fast. From Wall Street to the blockchain, making predictions last. Community together in this financial blast. Markets after dollar shatter ceilings made of glass. Mad on the charts with rulers by lights. Crypto markets soaring through the night. Follow the trends, see future in sight. It's markets after dark, the financial flight. From Bitcoin to Ethereum, we're mapping the road. Stock tips and insights, secrets ready to unload. Trading strategies, sharp on knowledge be showed. Let Lunar Beaches guide you to the mother lode. Economic loops and the way the dollar flows.
The end is nigh. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Markets After Dark, where we go mad on the charts. Sunday through Thursday, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the Piper Academy Network. This is the end. This is the end of the road. Now I know some of you might be thinking, what does he mean? What does he mean it's the end? It's over? Yes. One way or another, it's over. I will explain tonight exactly what I mean by that. And all I gotta say is, one way or another, I'm ready for the opportunity. Because one way or the other, you must be prepared. Bitcoin's at a critical point. Almost there. Basically there. It's difficult to say that it's the end. Because no one wants to hear it. No one wants to hear that it's the end. Put a poll in the chat. Make sure you check it out. Let me know what you think. What comes next? What comes first? New all-time high or 84K? Poll in the chat. Now, before we go deep into this, you know what we got to do. It is time to bring up the madhouse. What's going on, everybody? How you doing? Thank you for being here. Good evening, good evening. Good evening, Mike Volmer. What's going on? How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Gold medal. What's up? Alexandra G, good evening. Mod Queen, the mod boss. Thank you for being here as always, and thank you for always showing up and showing out, showing your support. And thank you for pinning the Discord link in the chat. Make sure you guys join the Discord, the Piper Academy Discord tonight, right now. Link is in at the top of the chat. There's we got great traders in there. We've got some great information in there. A lot of alpha. We'll just you can ping me. That's the best way to get me to respond or to answer anything in any Discord. I am always always willing to help or just talk things out or whatever it is. But I've got to be pinged. I'm super busy, so I've got to be pinged. So if you ping me, I will respond. I promise you that. I will respond. Kasim, good morning from the other side. Thank you for being here, Kasim. Good morning to you. All set. Good evening. Hey, LBC and fam. What's going on? All set. RS Miller, good evening. Good evening. That's everybody that has chatted so far tonight. So, title's a little clickbaity, of course. Of course. But it's true. That's the thing. You can have a clickbaity title that is also true. So, are you guys ready to see the end of Bitcoin? Let's check it out. Oh no, it's over. Or are we just getting started? We're going to try to answer that tonight. You can see the green screen. Come on now. We're going to try to answer that tonight, and I'll go ahead and LBC, do you think we see an all-time high first? That's why you're here. You're here to find that out, right? Just got to be patient. What's going on, Dusty Hunt? Howdy, howdy. All right, so first things first, you know, we're watching these relatively equal lows. Now, this is a W pattern in here, so these equal lows do not have to be visited right away, just FYI, but that's at about 74,500-ish. But what I want to go over is the same thing that we went over last night, and because pretty much playing out how I said or how I was thinking it was going to play out today, which was sideways. Because we were looking at this last night as a 5-wave impulse, 5-wave Elliott wave impulse, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 to the upside. That is what I am looking for here for Bitcoin. I do think whenever this fourth wave wraps up, I do think we push up to that 96.5 to 97K. Now let's zoom it on out so we can see why that level. If you were here last night, you know why that level, but if you weren't, this is why. Fixed range volume profile, just pull that whole range, point of control. Okay? That is going to be a big, well, this in and of itself isn't going to be a big test, but what we do from that point on is going to determine the rest. Now, if we just take from the all-time high to current price action, we really just got to get above 96.4. And then we can start to slide down, which means the price slides up into this, what I call a divot. You can call it a trough, call it whatever, but not a lot of volume in here. Typically, price will, once it breaks the highest peak, once it breaks, it rolls down and it comes down into the void in order to fill it. So that is where I'm thinking we end up tomorrow or sometime in the next couple of days. I don't know when it's going to come. I tell you guys all the time, like predicting time, Not advised trying to predict time. I've gotten so many calls right in my 5 years of technical analysis, but so many times I have gotten the timing off. So I just stopped caring about timing and just look for the market structure. That's all I really care about. So that's a nice correction right there. So first thing we want to take a look at is this first wave. What's our pullback to? We get down to the 382 and then we push higher. That is classic Elliott wave. And then we go to wave 2 to up here. And we've pulled back to the 236, which is why I think we could see more downside tomorrow. We come down to that 382 at 91,325. But ultimately, I do think from there, or either from there, or potentially as low as the golden pocket at 89.4. But for me, anywhere 382 and lower is going to be a buy. Now, I don't think we'll go that low. I would aim more for the 382. Kind of hope more for a bounce off the 382. The reason why I think this is what's going to happen is because, we've made this impulsive move to the upside and we can need a 3-wave correction to the downside before we can continue to the upside. We come into wave 2 of this whole move. This is the top. You come down, you come up, you come down, ABC, and then you push to the upside. Lock your fibs. Now let's go ahead and unlock them. Let's put this where it needs to be. Let's go ahead and turn on the magnet. Let's put this right there. There we go. This right there. There we go. That, and this. So 91, we'll call it 91.5 is what I think will come down to at the minimum, 91.5. Now, let's see. Can we add some confluence to this? Let's go ahead and pull a fixed range volume profile from low to current price. And right now we do have a couple of volume nodes sticking out right here. Now that would indicate that we might be more likely to push a little bit lower, taking these lows in here, coming into demand, and then pushing off to the upside. We'll have to wait and see if that is what we get. But right now we are holding this value area high, but as soon as we lose it, I think that's when we fall down, and I think it'll be a rather quick fall. Hopefully it happens overnight while I'm asleep, so I don't have to deal with it, and I can just press buy, because I prefer pressing buy than I do pressing sell, but that's just me. When I say buy, I mean long, because I prefer selling, in profit, to be perfectly honest. Okay. Anyways, so yeah, we've got that volume node sitting right there, so I would be watching for that. The upper level on that's going to be 91,142. The lower level is going to be actually maybe even a little higher. 90,750. With the potential for a wick down to that 90,500 level. But ultimately, I think we continue to push to the upside to that point of control. Now the question becomes, what do we do after that? And that, my friends, is why this episode was named The End of Bitcoin. One way or another. Because what happens after this is going to be everything. in my opinion. Now, the first level I want to mark off is where this impulsive move began. This low right here. There we go. 80, and this is why I get the 84K. $83,882. If we cross below this, this gets invalidated. We have not started a 5-wave impulse to the upside. So that's the key. We lose 84. And then at the very least, it'll probably be something like this, where we sweep the low. And then we would want to see a shift in market structure and start pushing to the upside if we are to be bullish. Sorry. Melissa, one love, what's going on? Hope you're doing well. OG and Retro Mike Tech. How's it going? One way or another. Bitcoin's gonna end its cycle 2 this week. No, I don't know. No. Oh man. Harp, what's going on, Harp? Alright, so 5-wave impulse to the upside. This low must hold or we will go lower. That's the first thing, okay? This low must hold or we're going to create new lows, in my opinion. So, that's the first thing. Now, what do we look for after that? 5-wave impulse to the upside. Well, that is where we get into key resistance, and we can even see there's a nice supply zone right over here as well. We can see that big drop down right there, and that is what we are getting into right now. And I mean, this whole range in here was just distribution. So that is where we stand as of right now. I do believe we will get that push up into that point of control. And then from there, we get, if we are to be bullish, an ABC correction. Doesn't necessarily have to take out this low, but it can. But what I'll be looking for is 1, not coming into the territory of wave 1. So cannot cross, so really can't cross below $88,442. We cross below that, invalidates this as a 5-wave impulse. So that must hold. Then we'll pull a fib. High to low. Look for 50% pullback or even potentially to the 618 just above that wave 1. Now, preferably, I would like to see another bounce off the 382. And I think that these corrections are going to be quick and shallow. This would end next Monday. Maybe even going into Tuesday. Let Tuesday come down and sweep Monday's low. We could see a situation like that. So I'm always thinking of time and price, and that is what I would be looking for next week. Kind of push up maybe tomorrow, or finish the down move tomorrow. Push up Friday, go into the weekend choppy and sideways. Start off Sunday going into Monday with a push down. Maybe we only come down like to right here and get a little push up, all inside of this wave here. And then let me just draw it out. get a little push down inside this wave here, and then let me do this right. Boom, boom, boom. Monday's low, come in. Tuesday sweep, come up, and then reverse out. And then from there is when I would look for the next 5-wave impulse to the upside. Here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 104 is going to be the next critical level. After that, let's zoom out a little bit. This is where we typically get another ABC, but this is all part of a larger 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 to the upside. And I'm still looking at that 130, 131. But this is what I look for. I look for the 5-wave impulse to the upside, the 3-wave correction, 5-wave impulse to the upside, a 3-wave correction, and then a 5-wave impulse to the upside. And then that's it. We come up to the highs. Bitcoin has gone parabolic. It could push from 132 all the way up to, let's just go ahead and pull this fib right here. We could be looking at 168. Zoom out more. It could be high to low. Could be as high as 243,000. Now, to be clear, I do not think that's where we're heading. If anything, I would look at this 2.618 as the next level, is 156. If we are going to go off of these fibs, but that first key level will be the $131,000. If we are to come up and take the highs or break out into new all-time highs, that's going to be the first pit stop at the 1.618 at $131,000. 131.2 or so. So that's what I'm going to be looking for Bitcoin. Now, if you want to ask me what do I think, what is my conviction? My conviction has not changed because I still have not seen anything tell me from a chart perspective that this run is over. So with that said, I come to you tonight to tell you that I do think the moon gods will bless us. And I do think we'll go higher and break out into a new all-time high and go to that 131K minimum. Now, just to show you the kind of market structure that I'm looking for, this isn't to predict price or anything like that, or time or anything else. I'm only going to take these 5 waves. I'm not even going to take the whole thing, but I don't know why I'm adjusting it here. But if we just look at this, we can see this is essentially what I am looking for coming out of Bitcoin. Now, I'm actually looking for that 3rd wave. The 3rd wave always breaks the high. So that's what I would be looking for there. Pull a fib. Let's go ahead and do that. Where's the low? There we go. Now that looks about right. If we actually line it up, highs and lows. Oh. Try to get this right. It actually gets you right to that $131,000. Kind of crazy. Now this could, end up taking longer, but when you're in the final phases, typically it's just straight line up, blow off top time. Just like this. This was straight line up, blow off top here at the very end of the cycle. Now you can actually take angles. Let's see. Ganfan. Ganfan? Ganfan? And just to be clear, I do not want it to be mistaken that you should just go all in right now. Honestly, if this is to play out how I think it's going to, it is not Bitcoin that I am going to be concerned with. It will be the altcoins, because the gains will be in the altcoins. Because if this plays out just from current price, it's a 41% move. That's it. That's all you get out of Bitcoin. And if you wait for it to break the all-time high before you decide to get in here, then you're only looking at a 19.66% gain. So, one reason that does give me hope is that the dollar is cheap. Now, if the dollar is cheap, then we just want to see some demand for it, right? And that's the thing. That's why it's a good thing for right now that the dollar is cheap, because it gets people interested in buying it. And people take their dollars, they're getting it on the cheap. They do their little exchange rate stuff, and then they start throwing money in the market. I don't know how it works. Up or down. That's funny. I felt so off, like something was missing, and it was seeing everyone in the chats. I miss it. What's going on? One love. Take a look at that Bitcoin dominance. How are we looking on that? This is a fair value gap that I do have just above us here. So in case we do end up getting up there, but showed this last night as well. It's kind of what I'm looking at. I mean, the gray box is going to be, I think, the main area to watch. If we do extend past it, we'll just see if it hits that trend line and then reverses. And if it does that and it starts to crash, guess what happens to altcoins? Altcoins go flying. Total 3. This is every altcoin not named Ethereum. So no Bitcoin, just every other altcoin. We got the breakout. Now we need to see some continuation. For now, we should just be happy with the breakout. On the weekly, we want to see a close above the internal high. Really want to get above $854 billion market cap. That way, that would kind of help solidify that we will continue to push higher. But with the altcoins, it's going to be when Bitcoin is in its final phase, on its final push to the upside, the altcoins are most altcoins are just standing back and waiting. Some altcoins will go with Bitcoin, but most of them will just be, they'll be moving up. Well, as a whole, Bitcoin will still, I think, maintain dominance. Let's see. The high for Bitcoin dominance last cycle was actually 4 months prior to Bitcoin's all-time high. So if this happens, what does that mean for? I mean, how much longer? When does Bitcoin's all-time high come in? In June? Well, well. This high has us coming in May. Now, like I said, not trying to predict time. It is impossible to predict time. I just care more about market structure than anything else. I want to see this push just like this to the upside. Something very similar to this. Okay, guys, no more political talk. Trump is pro BTC. Let's lock in. Who's talking political? Two sides to every coin. Howdy, folks. What's going on? Straight vaping? Who's talking political? Trump is pro BTC. I mean, he definitely grifts to the BTC crowd, that's for sure. Which is fine. I mean, it's good for us, right? But the president of the United States grifts for Bitcoin. But anyways, big key level here for Ethereum. We got the push down below it to sweep the low. Now we're getting a nice bullish engulfing candle pushing off of it. We had 3 straight weeks of closing above this low over here. And now we're getting a push to the upside. So Ethereum's looking much better, but it has a lot of work to do. But it can also move very quickly. Excuse me. Let's see. The last cycle, I mean, we can just see how quickly this thing moved if it got that same little hook in it. I mean, you're looking at maybe August for a top. And then altcoins top at the end of the year. There's potential. Imagine all the bear poop if this happens. There's bear poop in the woods. I would say maybe the 4.236. $5,754. That seems a little bit more realistic. Let's take this here and let's take it and move it to the top here. Oh, look at that. It's perfect. It's perfect. There you go. So Ethereum potentially topping out at just $5,754. Unless it gets some crazy extension, we get some kind of white swan event. That could be the likely high for this cycle. That could be the high for this cycle. Now, if we go from previous cycle high to the bear market low, we could see what would you do if Ethereum just started going nuts like this? Now, remember, going off of our Bitcoin dominance, we could see 40 weeks of altcoins getting moving, with the bulk of the gains within, like, I don't know, what is this? Within like 10 weeks. And then you have all the laggards start to, join the show all up in here. You start hitting the low market caps. People start going to the riskiest of things. Who knows, maybe some new thing that's, like NFTs, but not NFTs, like, just something new and different comes out, and who knows? And that ends up being the top of the market or somewhere in here. Who knows? Trying to predict the future is it's impossible. Take a look at the ES. The ES, let's go to the daily. So this is the SPY. Yesterday, we opened up pushed up and then got smacked down. We do have this gap that we can fill, which does fit into my idea that Bitcoin is going to have is going to see some downside tomorrow. And then the hope is that, you know, we just filled the gap here on the SPY, and for Bitcoin, we're just getting that pullback that we need before we see continuation. So pretty much going to be the same for the SPY as for the NASDAQ and the Dow Jones. Same deals, same deal. NASDAQ 100. These are the top 100 companies. This thing just really fell. Take a look here. Really? Am I not clicking this button? Sheesh. 32%. My goodness. All the way down to the platinum, bottom of the platinum pocket. Off to bed, everyone. Have a good night. Good night, Mike Volmer. Thank you for being here. Absolutely appreciate you. We'll see you later. Two sides. Good evening. All right, let's see here. 1, 2, 3. Nope, 3 didn't break the high. 3, 4, 5. Nope. Nope. 1, 2, 3. Big fourth wave correction, and then the 5. Whoa. Bang, bang. Big megaphone pattern in here. What it looks like. Just get a nice push up, NASDAQ 100. That'd be nice. Get a nice little breakout. Let's get back. Let's get back above 10,000. Okay? Get back above 10,000. Anything showing up down here? Let's go to the weekly. Do we have any nice bottoming in here? Potentially. We got the true 7 bottomed out. We have a bounce here off of the oversold, and a little bit of a nice rounding in here instead of just like a big push or anything. So it's like it's building up, and it could give us that push that we need. Russell 2000, risky stocks. This needs to move to the upside as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to take the lows. We shall see. So, you guys, what are you guys thinking? How many votes we got so far? 23 votes. Wow. Most of you are saying 84K. That makes me so bullish. You don't even know. Whenever everyone else is bullish, I tend to get bearish. Whenever everyone else is bullish or bearish, I tend to get bullish. It's just how the cookie crumbles. Let's go back to Bitcoin. Oh, I did want to take a look. Let's go to something with a little bit more historical data. Data. Not trying to get the perps. Index. We're going to bring up the crypto fear and greed index. Good old crypto fear and greed. Wait, is that my drawing? It is. I drew this last night. I think. Was it after? Yesterday at some point. Oh yeah, this is like pre-show. He was fighting the highs, but it didn't work. Actually, I mean, we did go sideways, so. All right, let's take a look here at the crypto fear and greed. We'll want to go to the weekly for this. Zoom this out a little bit. All right, so let's mark off our absolute top here for the last cycle. Going to be right here. Of course, we're not going to have that data, so that's all we have. That's all we can go off of. Cycle top came in. We actually had a bearish divergence on our sentiment at our cycle top. Currently, we actually got a bullish divergence, funny enough, on our market sentiment. Don't tell me you can't use market sentiment. You absolutely can use market sentiment. Last time, I mean, this is Throwback Thursday, so this is why we're going over some past stuff, all right? Last time we came down this low and got into that extreme fear, was down in here, and that was prior to the big move to the upside. Down in here, I mean, this level in general seems to be where we start to break out from. It's not until you get up into this upper green, into extreme greed, where we get good times to sell. Fear and greed. All right, so historically, let's see. We got a bearish divergence here on our market sentiment, our crypto fear and greed on the last cycle. So far this cycle, we're actually kind of doing much better, actually. So not only do we have the bullish divergence here, we also have one right here where our market sentiment put in a lower low, but our price put in a higher low. So there you go. That's a hidden bullish divergence. And we not only have it on the crypto fear and greed for people that think that, you know, crypto fear and greed isn't something that should be looked at. We also have it here on our Prime Oscillator Pro Plus. Check out Chart Prime, link in the description box down below, and get 45% off your first week and get a whole bunch of hours and of lessons from OCE Guy and Alex O Crypto, and yeah, get trade signals, get the latest updates on new stuff, new indicators, all that stuff. So check it out. Poop. New Earth Guardian, how you doing, New Earth Guardian? Hope you are doing well this evening. So yeah, we got the back-to-back. We got the True 7 clip down here on the weekly chart on our last lows. We got the True 7 clip over here. We do want to be careful because of, well, the good thing is we're putting in potentially a third green week, third in a row. We haven't had 3 straight green weeks since here. It's the last time we had 3 straight green weeks. The last time we had 3 green weeks that started the next up move was right here. Right here. See, I'm building the case. And from just a chart perspective, I think we're bullish from a chart perspective. So if you just cut out the noise that is news and economic data, and you just say, hey, what is the chart telling me? Chart is telling me we're at a major decision point. We need to break above. We need to close above. After that, we can expect some consolidation for however long it takes. As long as we don't cross above territory of wave 1, we are good, 88K. And if we cross below 84, the bull market is over. Period. I said it. Bull market is over, and we're going to roll over. Could that just be an ABC correction before we get a bigger impulse? I mean, possibly. It's not what I would want to see, but wouldn't be the end of the world. Question is, how deep of a pullback could we get? Golden pocket? Maybe. Maybe golden pocket pullback. My current conviction, though, is more upside. Fun fact, we are now closer to the all-time high than we are to the lows because we crossed above the 50% retracement. And we have now had 2 consecutive days of closing above the 50% retracement. Tomorrow, I'll be watching this daily fair value gap. See us come into that. Let's see. Let's go down to the 4-hour. Is there another fair value gap here on the 4-hour? I would say, yep, there's one right here. And then we would go down to the 15-minute. See what we've got inside of this 15-minute. We have this big candle here that really got us going. So I think I'll just mark off just the candle, no gaps, just the candle. And we'll see if we hit this candle tomorrow. Low to high, 786. Low to high, 50% retracement. So confluence for that level, about 89K, which I think I've said more than once tonight. 89, 90K, go ahead and retest it. And yeah, we'll see. Yo, what's going on, Strollman? 84K all the way. We'll see. We shall see. There's only one thing that kind of says this 5-wave impulse could be invalidated. Remember, this could come down here and then come up. We don't want to cross below the top of wave 1 right here. Don't want to cross below that. That would invalidate this. And we do have a giant imbalance here that we could come back down into. However, this was a nice displacement candle that broke us from this range here. Come on. Why are you not moving? Thank you. Broke us out of this range, and we did get a nice pop up, a big pull back, and bounced right off of that candle. And that is how we continued our impulse. So, I mean, this is all lining up for me personally. I just want to see the ABC to the downside and then continuation to the upside. Let's go to Made in America, see if we've got anything moving right now. Bitcoin Cash. Good old Bitcoin Cash. Another thing that is making me super bullish is just how bullish some of these altcoins are looking coming off of their lows. Bitcoin Cash. Cash or Dash? Dash for cash. Cash for clunkers. Anybody remember that? We might be doing that again soon. Because I don't know how we avoid a recession. The only question for me isn't like, are we going to get a recession? The only question for me is, do we get a last hurrah in Bitcoin and stocks before the recession hits? Who knows? They'll have Lutnick blather something tomorrow and it'll jinx things. Yeah, you know how it goes. Can you change your vote before I end the poll? I should have said, all right, so right now we've got 62% say 84K, 38% say new all-time high. Let's end that poll. Let's start a poll. What comes next? New all-time high? I'm not talking to you, ChatGPT. My goodness. 84K. And I'm going to redo the poll after, now that I've gone over everything. And see what you guys think. Redo the poll. Good thing you do TA and not economics, because you're way off on the recession. How is that? What do you mean by I'm way off on the recession? And that's kind of a unnecessary jab. 28 votes and only 15 likes. What is up with that? Alexander G, that's your fault. That's your fault. I'm not saying that we are for sure. I mean, maybe I did say that. I mean, eventually, at some point in the future, there will be a recession, because that's just how economies work. Boom and bust cycles. There'll be some kind of recession, even if it's just a small recession. There'll be some kind of recession. Trump coin up 53.8%. That's wild. The recession has already started, in my opinion. Could have. We can go Atlanta Fed, GDP now. We can avoid a recession if we just believe. We just gotta believe. Evolution of the GDP. What are we saying now? So latest estimate as of April 17th. That's the last time they did one. Minus 2.2% GDP. The GDP Now model estimate for real GDP growth seasonally adjusted annual rate in the first quarter of 2025 is minus 2.2% on April 17th, unchanged from April 16th after rounding. The alternative model forecast, which adjusts for imports and exports of gold, as described here, is minus 0.1%. After this morning's housing starts report from the U.S. Census Bureau, both the standard models and the alternative models now cast of first quarter real residential fixed investment growth decreased from 3.7% to 2.9%. Now, admittedly, GDP now, whatever, from the Atlanta Fed, every new piece of data that comes in holds much more weight than the last data that they put into the equation. Sorry, I started reading been seeing LBC's analysis long enough to know it's quite well thought out and reasoned. Thank you. I appreciate that, Kasim. Trump coin pumped because they said the top roughly 299 holders get to have dinner with the president. I thought I saw something that was like some news for that. Just put on the VR goggles and everything will be and everything will be good. Good evening, everyone. What's going on, JR? Hope you're doing well, brother. Killing those trades. Shout out to you, man. Absolutely amazing what you've been doing with those trades, with that trading. That's cool. Looks like I will be having dinner with Donnie. Oh, flat smack. Thinks he's a top 299 holder of Trump coin. So yeah, GDP Fed now is showing, at least for quarter one, some contraction, which I think is probably more likely than not. We didn't see the tariffs until they didn't get implemented until what, April 9th? So a couple lost yesterday, but I didn't die. That's good. April 9th. Oh. Tariffs going into effect. I don't even know how many of them. Are any of them actually in effect right now? Or were they just like, I think they are, maybe. I don't really know. The tariff thing is just like, we're on again, we're off again, we're on again, we're off again. We're this high, we're this low, we're this high now, but now we're cutting them back. Like, it's just what it does is it creates uncertainty in the market, which is why we had such a big downturn. One of the biggest concerns right now, from my understanding, is shipments, like exports from China, were halted for there were a lot of shipments. I can't even remember the numbers. There's like 60 big like container things, and like inside of them is like dozens more of like of your standard containers that you see that get shipped on like the big trucks. There was some crazy number that had been halted. So supply chain halted. What does that do? That decreases supply. Now, if your demand stays the same, but your supply decreases, then prices should naturally increase on things. So you get your inflation. That's one way to get inflation. If the demand dies off because people can't afford goods and stuff and crazy things or whatever, then we're kind of level. But if demand increases at all, then we see even more inflation until we at least start getting the supply back of whatever it is that we get from China, which is, I don't know, probably everything, a lot of things in your house. Some way, somehow, somewhere, there's something Chinese made in your house. It is almost a guarantee. Trump kissing Xi Jinping arse right now because he knows he's in deep trouble. What's up, Celinda Anderson? I don't think I've seen that name. Thank you for being here. Trump knows if China cuts off the supply of adult toys to North America, there will be an insurrection. I think you missed a golden opportunity to say there will be an erection. I don't know. Insert, like you could have sent like insert and then erection. Like you could have played. You get what I'm saying. Like 85% of everything we use is from China. Yeah, exactly. Like at least like a piece of it, like either a microchip or a little part or a screen or some screws. Like there's bits and pieces from all over the place, and that's one of the things that really gets me in with that I don't think people understand with the tariffs and the whole. Another thing is like this whole like people try to live in all worlds at once. It's like, okay, the tariffs are going to be good because it'll bring back manufacturing. Well, okay, well, the tariffs are so high because we're trying to negotiate better trade deals. And if you're just negotiating better trade deals, then you're not really trying to get manufacturing back. But then if Trump folds and he doesn't do a tariff or whatever, or he lowers on the tariffs, and he just gets like, a new trade deal or whatever, but that still doesn't do anything for the manufacturings. But we're still going to say that he's playing 4D chess, which doesn't make any sense because he said he was going to do the tariffs so that he would bring manufacturing back to the U.S. But everything he's doing currently is really doing the opposite of that. And it's just people just try to live in every world at once, and it's just like just pick one. Which one do you think? Tariffs good, tariffs bad? And it's actually more nuanced than that for me. It's like targeted tariffs are good for a struggling industry where we can actually build stuff here in the US. We don't have to outsource for any goods, for any products, which, believe it or not, we got to outsource for a lot of stuff because there's just a lot of stuff not here in the US. So that's what made globalism so great, is free trade, and tariffs are literally a tax on trade. So that typically gets passed down to the consumer. And who does that affect the most? People that don't make a whole lot of money. So, but I don't know. Obviously, we can't beat China. They hold a big amount of treasuries that can destroy us, and they also aren't afraid to devalue their currency to screw us. Exactly. Thanks, bro. Appreciate the kind words. Can't wait to learn and grow with y'all. A long ways to go yet. Melissa, JR, 4D Jenga. No company is going to spend billions to move to the U.S. when the tariffs are on and off. There will be a new president in a few years. And that's another thing. Like, because of the erratic nature that, Trump is doing these things and he's not really like kind of sticking to just one thing, it gives uncertainty for businesses, U.S. businesses. Why would a company want to try to expand during this time when they have no idea what tomorrow is going to bring because of our president? Like him or not, I mean, that to me, whether or not you like him, whatever, you have to acknowledge that truth. Like, businesses cannot plan that far ahead because of this stupid trade war. And who does that hurt more? Who do you think that hurts more? Large corporations who are going to get who's set to get a big tax cut in the new Republican tax bill, or small business owners? This is going to hurt the small business owners because now everything costs an arm and a leg. They can't jack up their prices because, one, usually small businesses typically are kind of running a little bit higher because on their like margins, because they kind of have to, because they have to have, when you first get going with a business, you've got to have trying to, I forgot what I was saying, but anyways. But then there are the Carl Moons that can spend 1 million on poop. So there is that. I digress. This is short term. Businesses know the economy will improve and be a better environment. Do they? Exactly. Small business owners and consumers are the ones who will be hurt the most. Exactly. See, and we have two contending thoughts there between Dusty Hunt and straight vaping. And it could be, the thing is, Dusty Hunt, is that we don't know that this is short term. And my grandfather owned a business. My dad owned a business. I am pretty close with my current boss. I ask a lot of business questions. I hear from other people that own businesses and run businesses. And I also have seen just stories of other people talking about their businesses, their small businesses, and how this has been really difficult time for them. So, because they can't plan that far ahead. And, you know, the thing is, we knew, Trump even said, yeah, there's going to be pain. There's going to be short-term pain for long-term gain. The only thing is, that's not a guarantee. And it's kind of hard to say that when you're being as erratic as you are, and you're not sticking to anything that looks even remotely like a plan. Because that's how Trump operates. It's the chaos theory. And if you like that, I mean, fine. Yeah, I don't know. I just... we'll see. We'll see. You never know what can... You never know. There aren't really many small businesses anymore, not ones that know they can't handle the setbacks. Times are different. Yep. There are millions of us small businesses that rely on supplies or products from China. Not just China, but from other countries too, man. Like my sister was trying to get steel for pools, for above ground pools. They've got a steel manufacturer, like a partnership with a steel manufacturer out of Canada. They got a great deal on their steel. And, you know, she had to call them up and just make sure that whatever they had already agreed on was going to stick because of the tariffs. And they said, I mean, what we already agreed on, yes, but obviously things are going to have to go up. And if the thing is, you think about, okay, they're still in above ground pools, but who gets above ground pools? Typically, it's not like uber wealthy people. It's usually like lower middle class people that get above ground pools here in the States. If the prices go up on that steel, then that will probably lead to less above ground pool sales because the prices are going to go up on the product, and middle lower class people can't buy the pools. And then it's not about the pools, luxury, whatever. It's about the fact that, well, that could end up, all right, that, well, hey, my sister, you know, we got to let you go because the margins are just too slim right now. So, and it's not just going to be them, but I don't know. Just go and study Trump's first term and really study it and see how just the minor tariffs that he did affected a lot of small businesses. And people only want to look at like overall inflation and all of that stuff. But when you get down in the nitty gritty and you look at the little guy, overall, I think it wasn't great. But anyways, I digress. And this is all I'm just talking about pure economics. I don't care. I'm not talking about the politics of it all. I'm just talking about how I see it, and what I think. Just if I thought it was a good plan, I would say it's a good plan. Like, I don't care if it was Trump. I don't care if it was Biden. I don't care if it was Osama bin Laden. You know, if it was a good plan, I'd say, oh, that's actually a good plan. Oh yeah. Oh, there's tariffs. Yeah, those all make sense. All make sense. For some reason, I thought that you could just, go to our allies or go to these other countries and, just kind of talk to them, go through some diplomacy, maybe be like, hey, if you don't make a deal, then we will do this. But instead, we're just going to do a wrecking ball and just kind of smash everything. And because, unfortunately, some people think that the government should be run like a business, when it is, in my opinion, the government is not a business and can't be run like a business. But I digress. We'll move on. It was a great night with you guys. Great discussions. Great chats. We won't agree on everything, and that's fine. And someone's going to be right in the end. We'll see who it is. And, if it's you, the people that love the tariffs and say that everything's going to be fine with the tariffs on, okay? If Trump lifts the tariffs and things get better, doesn't count. Doesn't count. You can't just act like it didn't happen. You just can't do that, okay? Gotta hold people accountable, okay? That's all that I ask. But I don't know. We'll find out. You can come back to me and you can be like, told you so. And I'll be like, yeah, you did. And I'll just move on. Because it is what it is. On to the next thing, right? We don't have to agree. We are growing together. Yeah. There were over 90 countries negotiating tariffs this week alone. Okay. Do you know what a trade deficit is? Do you know the formula they used for this? I will be very interested in seeing how these 90 countries see these new trade deals. Be very interested. People do understand, they do understand trade deficits, right? Because I feel like they don't. The trade deficit. So essentially, what we've done is we've said we've been going to Starbucks, for the past, 4 years or whatever it is. And it's like going to Starbucks for the last 4 years, paying for their product, getting their products, and being like, wait a minute, I've been paying Starbucks all this money. What have they ever done for me? I'm in a trade deficit with Starbucks. I'm going to go in there and try to negotiate a deal with them. It's like, that's what it is. That's a trade deficit. That's all it is that we bought more stuff from you than you bought from us. Which isn't a bad thing. You just have to counterbalance it with other stuff from other countries. You don't have to go and just be like, oh, we've bought more stuff from you than you have from us. Therefore, we're going to make you buy some of our stuff or whatever it is. Or we're just not going to start. We're just going to stop buying your stuff. Like it doesn't make sense. It does not make sense. Anyways, I'm done. I'm done. Thank you all for listening to my rants tonight. I do appreciate each and every single last one of you. Tomorrow we'll have FOMO Friday, and that'll be a lot of fun. As always, I still had fun tonight. I like to every night. It's been a while since I've had any kind of little rant like that, so it's always good to get it out. But anyways, I do hope you all have a very, very sorry. Yes, finally you get it. You realize you are broke and can't afford the same Starbucks and have to cut back or use the app to lower prices. I love you, Dusty Hunt. We'll talk later. I hope you all have an amazing, beautiful, wonderful. Sorry. Wait. Never hit that like on your way out. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe. If you like conversations like this, hit that like button and comment down below and let me know what you think. And if you want to say mean things like most MAGA people do when I slightly disagree with them on things, then go ahead, have fun. But outside of that, I love you guys. And I hope you all have an amazing, beautiful, wonderful, radical sleep. And I'll catch you all tomorrow for FOMO Friday. This is Marcus After Dark, where we go mad on the charts. Mad love. Peace out. Girl Scouts. Bye. Good night.
Welcome to the night where we light up the spot. We're trading crypto, find out you'll be mad on the charts. Hosted by the one, Lunar Beaches top shark. Dive deep into the numbers cause this ain't no lark. We're crunching all the data, making money moves fast. From Wall Street to the blockchain, making predictions last. Community together in this financial blast. Markets after dark, shatter ceilings made of glass. Mad on the charts with Lunar's bright lights. Crypto markets soaring through the night. Follow the trends, see future in sight. It's markets after dark, live financial flight. From Bitcoin to Ethereum, where everybody grows. Analyzing trends while the world lays low. Markets after dark, where only brilliant shows. Hit that subscribe and join the ride. In the world of finance, where fortunes collide. Lunar's path will be your guide. Through the market storm or the market tide.
Hold on. Hey, looks like I swung some votes. 15 votes. We got new all-time high. I love you guys. Bye. We'll see if that comes true. Bye.
Welcome to the night where we light up the spot. We're trading crypto, find out you'll be mad on the charts. Hosted by the one, Lunar Beaches top shark. Dive deep into the numbers cause this ain't no lark. We're crunching all the data, making money moves fast. From Wall Street to the blockchain, making predictions last. Community together in this financial blast. Markets after dark, shatter ceilings made of glass. Mad on the charts with Lunar's bright lights. Crypto markets soaring through the night. Follow the trends, see future in sight. It's markets after dark, live financial flight. From Bitcoin to Ethereum, we're mapping the road. Stock tips and insights, secrets ready to unload. Trading strategies, sharp on knowledge be showed. Let Lunar Beaches guide you to the mother lode. Economic loops and the way the dollar flows. Community vibes where everybody grows. Analyzing trends while the world lays low. Markets after dark where only brilliant shows. Hit that subscribe and join the ride. In the world of finance where fortunes collide. Lunar's path will be your guide. Through the market storm or the market tide. On the charts with Lunar's bright light. Crypto markets soaring through the night. From big dome markets soaring fast. Markets after dark touch into ceilings made of glass. Mad on the charts with Lunar's bright light. Crypto markets soaring through the night. Follow the trend, see the future in sight. It's markets after dark, the financial flight. From Bitcoin to Ethereum, we're mapping the road. Stock tips and insights, secrets ready to unload. Trading strategies, sharp on knowledge we showed. Let Lunar Beaches guide you to the mother.